So welcome back everybody, my name's Andrew and you're watching the Kelley's Country Life. And if this is your first time on the channel, hey, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you like the content that you're seeing. So they're calling for it to be 93 degrees today here in Florida. 93 degrees in May. This is crazy. It's already been in the 90s, been burning up. Now the humidity is rising. So as you can see, I'm getting a very early start this morning. We got some yard work to do. Want to get this place cleaned up. We've got to repair that weed eater that wouldn't run in the last episode. And people are always asking about animal pictures. We're gonna go out and pull some cards off some of the game cameras and see what's roaming around here. We just had us a bear incident the other week. A lot of y'all have heard about that. I'm expecting a lot more bears on those cameras. So the name of the game today is flip-flops. Probably gonna go put on a straw hat and frequent water breaks. It is gonna be miserable hot. So rolling this hose up and working in this area right here reminds me, people have been asking, when are you going to build a pump house? That's actually coming up very soon on the channel. I have just made me a running list right now that's on my phone, and it probably has 30 different projects. I'm just trying to prioritize and figure out which ones we want to knock out next. Because a lot of people have been asking, hey, now that the house is pretty well wrapped up, what are you going to do on the channel? Well, like I keep telling y'all, the house is so far from wrapped up. We still have major, and I mean major projects left to do on that. Some we'll tackle now, some later, and then I've got to jump back out on the property. So again, if you're new to the channel, we've been building a pole barn house. We have shared that completely on the channel. Still have major and fun projects left to do on that. And we're also developing our 50 acres here. Eventually, we want to have us a little somewhat self-sufficient homestead, something we can enjoy with animals, something that pays us back dividends, whether it be fun, enjoyment, food, or finances. So I'm out here pulling up these stakes that mark where our septic tank was just recently installed right here and our drain field. And my oh my, can y'all see the difference since the last time I just showed this off not long ago. We planted grass seed here and it went from dirt to it is almost completely covered. So that's a little dangerous too. Not much longer from now, you'll start forgetting where the septic tank is and where that drain field is. And we do not want people to drive over that to feel the need to come through this area at all. So probably a project that's coming up very soon is how do we put something decorative out here to keep people from parking on top of our septic and drain field. I'm starting to lean back towards something I didn't really want, but it may make sense. I'm almost thinking not a white picket fence, but do a white wooden fence or something here that looks decorative. Make it kind of do an L shape down on the end and possibly plant something like rose bushes every so often down it. Now the reason I want to kind of bring it in close to the septic system where this is right here is because when we have get-togethers, that still leaves adequate parking right here. People can pull in and park the front of their vehicle straight at the fence. So we can get quite a few vehicles down to this tree right here. And that's still close enough to the house that we can turn on floodlights and allow people to see how to walk back to their vehicle. But I'll take any suggestions that y'all might have. We could do some shrubs too. I'm just not wanting to do something here that's going to require constant attention, watering, trimming. I have other things that I'd much rather focus my time and attention on around the property. So I haven't really shown this off to all of our regular viewers. Y'all notice something is missing? Something major has changed. So we talked about it on our live stream last week with some of y'all, but well, we've been living in a camper for almost 3 years while we've developed this property and built our house. Well, we finally moved into the house now. We listed the camper for sale, and within about 15 minutes of listing it online, it was sold. People are having such a hard time finding things right now. I literally got another 100 requests immediately. Well, I say immediately, overnight, of people, where's the camper? I want to buy the camper. It's already sold, y'all. It's gone. 15 minutes. That blows my mind. Now the awesome thing is I have a ton of extra room in here that we can start reorganizing this, and I have some really cool future projects that's also on my list coming up here. One of them is going to be a multi-level equipment rack to where I can actually store tractor equipment in different stages and really condense all of my tractor stuff down to maybe just one small bay. I've been really looking forward to building something like that, and that'll open up even more room in here. By the way, not only did I have all that open room I just showed y'all, but look over here, many more open bays, and all the tractor equipment back there is what we're going to try to condense down, because the ultimate goal here is to clean out those last 2 bays. So my plan here is basically from where I'm standing back, I won't clear it out. We've had future plans. The reason we built such a large pole barn over here was because we knew we were going to do something here. The ultimate goal down the road is to potentially do a 2-horse stall in down here, do a tack room, feed storage room, and maybe tool storage room for, you know, garden tools and things that I want out of the weather. And then we are working on something new that may be coming as quick as we can afford to. I'm not going to spill the beans too much, but I think this building is about to get bigger that way. We have some future plans that are coming up. It is time that we start working this channel toward getting some animals. We're not there just yet, but we're getting there. We've set the property up for that. And a lot of people keep asking me about that pasture. Why do you mow and why do you have such a big pasture? We planted that specifically for animals, cows, and things in the future here. And it's coming up before long, but I have to maintain and keep that pasture mowed, or weeds, trees, everything else will take over. Now, to all the viewers that really love the projects, the tinkering, the building, this is the one I'm most excited about. We are very soon gonna be working on a full shop reorganization. The ultimate goal is to set up a metalworking side over here, potentially a woodworking side over here, get this center section cleared out so we can actually start building some projects. I have some projects I've been saving in my head for over 2 years that I've never seen anything like, that are so exciting and that I'm really looking forward to building. We've got to do upstairs storage in the loft. We've got stairs that we've got to build in there, all kinds of stuff. Well, I didn't even make one pass around the yard before somehow I found an old plastic strap hiding out in the edge of the pine trees and sucked it all up underneath the mower and around this mower blade. I gotta take this thing off. On earth. You definitely never want to leave straps and stuff like this wrapped around a spindle, because it generates a tremendous amount of heat and friction, and I can promise you that will eventually eat your bearings up and you'll be replacing a spindle. Now, this is probably also a good time to talk about what was a mighty sensitive subject in the last video. By the way, here's that plastic string-filled junk. That will burn a bearing up. If you ever run over something, get it off. Oh look, metal in it too. Awesome. So a lot of people watched my last video to where I lifted the mower up with the tractor and left it supported. Got underneath, changed the blades. And I made for sure to be very clear to show in that video that I also use these support jacks as a backup safety source. These things will literally hold this mower 2 times over, the entire mower up in the air. And I don't think people realize how light the front of a zero turn is. Look, I can actually lift it up by hand because the engine's in the rear. Still don't want that falling on me, but for some reason people keep missing that I am putting a very heavy duty support jack underneath there as well. I also do that with my tractor mower. I'm not trying to get hurt, not trying to kill myself. I'm not climbing under something and trusting just one device to hold it up. Now, yes, the tractor hydraulics is highly unlikely they would fail, but should they, well, you've got a steel jack that I put underneath these things as well. Just want to try to put some people at ease because, man, it gets heated sometimes. So I've had this old steel weed eater for, I don't know, 12, 14 years. And it's been an awesome weed eater, with the exception of every few years, their primer bulbs and lines and stuff collapse. And it's just, well, fuel related for sure. Now I run strictly non-ethanol in all of my small equipment, but fuel still takes its toll on these parts. So I went to press the primer bulb in the last mowing episode, and well, it just collapsed. It's got a big gaping hole in it over here. It is dry rotted as can be, and needless to say, I cannot get this weed eater to start. So I got online and went to order just a primer bulb, and I could actually wind up ordering a full carburetor and whole kit for about the price of what the primer bulb runs. That's absolutely crazy. So I went ahead and ordered the whole kit. It's always nice to have a spare. Now, yeah, it's kind of an old China carb and a few other things, but they work. They really do. I've ran them in other saws before. So if I ever get in a bind and I really need to get this going, I love having little repair kits like this on the shelf somewhere. And then I can always turn around and order a specific steel part later on if that's what I really want. So weed eater's definitely starting to look a little rough. If something major happens to it in the future, it may be finally time to break down and get me a new one. And that's okay, because I have got my money's worth out of this thing right here. And here's the culprit. You can see that primer bulb is just trashed. So I'm gonna try to stick with the factory carb. A lot of times these knockoff carbs right here, all the parts are copied anyways, so they should be exact. We'll see if we can swap this right over. I'd much rather keep the factory carb if I can. I'll tell you what, it's burning up. It's already well into the 90s. I know it's gonna be loud, but I gotta cut this fan on while I'm working. I'm about to sweat to death in here. We have skipped straight past spring and went right to summer, y'all. It was 94 degrees yesterday. I just checked my the history on my thermostat. Oh my goodness. Or thermometer, whatever the heck you want to call it. Go ahead and put us a new air filter in here while we're at it. Been quite a while since I replaced that. Shame on me. Well, check that out. I wish I had actually paid attention. This kit also comes with a spare primer bulb. How about that? So I'll save this factory plate, and I could have just changed the bulb out, it looks like. Awesome, so I can do this again. That's a good deal then off of this kit, really good deal. Didn't know it came with that. Hadn't changed the spark plug in a long time either. Let's see what that looks like. All right, before we put it back together too much, let's see if it'll prime with fuel. Yep, it's already shooting up there, awesome. Check for leaks. Let's go see if it'll run. All right, so new primer bulb, new air filter, new spark plug, new fuel filter. That should be a pretty decent tune-up for this. Let's see. One pull. I mean, look, it's cold. One pull. I ain't never had it start that good, ever. All right, before it gets too hot, let's put the cover back on. Awesome. And this, my friends, is why I encourage anybody to attempt to work on stuff yourself. You carry this into a dealer, I don't even know what their hourly rates are nowadays. It's like everything else in the world. It might be $75 an hour, $125 an hour, who knows? Rates have just went through the roof. So a little tune-up like this, get your equipment back running, or I could change that carb out in 5 minutes. Buy a $15 carb online or go to your steel dealer. I have no problem supporting them. Buy an actual steel carb. My previous steel dealer has closed down, but I do have another one that I'm going to start going to. But long story short, attempt to do some of this stuff yourself. You will save a pile of money. I mean, a pile of it. Worst case scenario, you don't get it figured out, carry it into the shop, pay them to fix it. All right, this is the part of the show where I'm gonna give you your disclaimer. So to all my flip-flop haters out there, golly, there's a pile of them. It amazes me how many people hate them. I am about to weed eat in flip-flops. If you cannot handle watching this, you may want to cut the program off right now. We appreciate you watching though. So I just checked. It is now 94 degrees and it's supposed to get even hotter today. We've already broke what they were calling for and it's taken off. It's 97 in the shop, 94 right now. This is pure miserable. I'm gonna take a little bit of stuff smacking against my legs and feet in order to wear my flip-flops and not burn up. I'm already pouring sweat as it is right now. Florida foot thongs, as we call them down here, flip-flops, is common attire when it starts getting in the mid to high 90s and 100% humidity. I just about overheat anytime I try to wear jeans, boots, or even shoes out here. Now, if I was splitting wood or doing something major, pushing a push mower around, yeah, I'm gonna go put some shoes on and be a little more careful. But man, actually, I just rambled on too long about a disclaimer with flip-flops, didn't I? Let me shut up, get it weed eating. Watch a few of y'all cringe. So my camera's been knocked all around and there's mud all over it. I'm assuming we probably have pictures of a bear messing with it if it actually took pictures like it's supposed to. All right, well, kind of an all over the place episode. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Like I said, we got tons of upcoming projects. Just the list goes on and on and on. So we got some exciting stuff coming on the channel. We're also about to get back into food plots. I'm just waiting on a few back-to-back rains because it is so dry right now. So dry, there's no way I can mow and disc this crown in right now. But what you're looking at all back here behind me, that is all standing oats and some wheat. They have seeds on it. I've actually been spooking dove out. They've already been finding it. Once I get this mowed down and lightly disced in, they'll start coming like crazy. So then the rest of this pasture out here, we'll mow down and disc in several times to kind of kill off all the weeds, get everything grown back, disc it in again, get it busted up nice and loose, and we'll be planting that by 1st of July. All right, so thank y'all so much for watching. Stay tuned. Here comes the animal pictures, if we have any. I'm sure we do. Take care.